love to see those beautiful layer cakes on Instagram, and they seem impossible to tackle. Well, that is until today. Do not stress, because here to show us how we can simplify one of her towering masterpieces that you see on her Instagram. Welcome back, our good friend, Courtney Rich. Welcome back,
Courtney. Welcome.
It's always great to come back. Great to see you
Love
guys.
having you.
As you can see, Cam, Paigey, and Orly have their giant piece of cake over there that they're going to dig into.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Now, this cake that you're
love
going to show us how to make today is based off of one of your beautiful, towering, round chocolate chip cookie dough peanut butter cakes, something like that.
Usually my cakes are mouth-watering, so yes.
Let's not forget that.
We do have that long-winded title in this one.
In there.
I know,
Right.
you really did.
How did you come up with this cake?
Okay, so this cake is based off a cookie from the Silos Bakery in Waco, Texas at Magnolia's Silos. And I just visited, which was so fun, over the spring. I was there in Texas for cake classes. And this cookie that you're seeing was my favorite thing. And it was a very simple oatmeal cookie with chocolate chips and peanut butter chips. And there was something about it that just kind of was nostalgic, I think, made me think to my childhood, because cookies was something I grew up baking with my mom and my sister. And so I came home, I wanted to recreate that cookie, and then I decided, well, yeah, that would make a good cake too, all those flavors together. So that's how I came up with this cake, and it's an oatmeal.
But you kicked it up a notch, like you always do.
I tried to. I caked it up a notch, yes.
She always just takes it a little further over the edge. And you made a beautiful masterpiece, and today you're going to show us how to do that as well. But you've kind of simplified it for us, so it's just going to be a sheet pancake.
Yes, we're just putting it in a 9x13, and a trend for this year in cakes is simplifying the cakes. I think it can be intimidating, and it was for me when I first started learning how to decorate and teach myself how to decorate a layered cake. It can be intimidating. You have to have extra tools. You have to have, the right skills and really teach yourself how to do that. And it's fun, but it can be intimidating. And I don't ever want that to be a reason someone's not going to bake a cake from scratch.
Exactly.
So I've simplified it, and I talk about this on Instagram and my blog because I want people to know, let's just put it in a 9x13. Don't grab the box mix and put a 9x13. Grab the ingredients from your pantry. We'll mix it up. It's just as easy.
So what do we have in here?
So we have our sugar, we have our butter, we have our eggs, we have vanilla in here.
Okay.
And then to that, we're just going to add our dry ingredients. So we have
slow
flour.
it down or turn it off for you?
Low speed always when we're mixing our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients. So we'll just add, this is all-purpose flour. We've got some baking powder in here, some salt, some cinnamon.
Nice.
I love cinnamon in my oatmeal cookies.
And if you don't have a 9x13, you could use a sheet pan or you could use a round pan, right?
Yes.
But I know you told me it's very important to use a light pan.
Yes, we were just talking about this. So a light pan, like the one that we have here.
Like light in weight?
And color.
In color.
Yes. So this gold-plated one is great. An anodized aluminum is what we're looking for because the heat will be distributed evenly throughout the pan, and it affects the way that your cake bakes. So we want something light. If you're getting a dark pan, Debbie, do you want to throw this in? If you're using a dark pan, it's going to bake around the edges quickly, or a really cheap pan that's not anodized right. It's going to bake the edges first. It'll set, and then your cake will rise in the top, and that's when you get the dome. And your edges will be dark.
And then it burns on the sides.
Yes, so the type of pan is really important, plays a huge role in how your cake
This is a science class, too.
Interesting.
Who knew? I never paid attention in high school, and all of a sudden I'm like, the science whiz now.
This isn't just all beauty, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of brains behind it, too. It's a lot. So you want to tell them what I just put in there?
You put in cooked oatmeal. So a few years ago, I tried out a gluten-free recipe for a friend, and they had cooked quinoa in the recipe, and it made it so moist and tender, and you had no idea it was there. So I thought, let's play around with this, and I did my recipe testing. I added a few raw oats as well, but the cooked oats really gives it that great texture and the chewiness to
and
it.
it thickens it up quite a bit, so take a look at that.
Quite a bit,
You're going to break your handle, it looks like.
And then I've got my mini chocolate chips, and they're tossed in some flour, and this helps so that your chocolate chips, as they're baking, don't just sink to the bottom of the pan, and they stay in place throughout the cake.
The flour helps
The flour, just toss them in like a table.
Go like this and hold on.
Stop.
I don't know. I'm finding this fascinating.
Wow. Now that cookie dough is so thick and delicious.
I mean, it kind of does look like cookie dough, but this is going to be our cake batter.
Cookie dough.
Like it is.
Yeah, I'll take this off and give that to you to lick.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Yep, I know.
Oh, you
How
can pass
Debbie
it over
rolls.
here to lick.
Pass that around.
And we're just going to spread this out in our pan.
Oh my goodness,
and
that's delicious.
we'll bake it for about 45 to 50 minutes at 325.
Wow, and it almost tastes healthy because of the oatmeal. You know,
Right?
It's got oats in there.
it's breakfast.
Don't people put chocolate chips in their oatmeal in the morning with a
true.
little peanut butter, or
this
is that just me?
No, I mean, I'm gonna start doing
basically
it.
breakfast.
It's basically breakfast. I'll start
Okay, you start
spreading it
spreading
for you because
that
as you
out.
can see, this is very thick. So you've not done it wrong if it's this thick, right?
Right, right. Every cake batter is going to be a little bit different, just as far as the texture, depending on the type of cake. So don't worry if it's thick or if it's thin. My chocolate cake has a really thin cake batter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got a lot of liquid in there.
Look at that. Oh, it's so
Okay,
beautiful.
so let's stick this in our oven.
For how long?
We'll go about 45. I always say, like, when you're given a time in a recipe, start with the least amount of time in the recipe. Check your cake then, and then you can always add a little extra time. We don't
Okay.
want to overbake our cake because that's how it turns out to be dry.
Man.
So now we've let it cool, and it's time for the piece de resistance, which is this fluffy peanut buttery whipped cream frosting.
Mama.
Just smell that. It's
Oh
just,
my gosh, that's amazing.
It's amazing. So, and this is so easy. This is just like, bring it back old school. Throw your frosting. You can put it on the sides like we did in the done cake over here by us, or just put it on the top. You can even use a spoon to do this. You don't even need a fancy offset icing spatula. We can just use a spoon to add our
I just want you to
frosting.
know that this is you've lost all of us now.
I know.
You just go to work now. We're going in deep.
a birthday
Mentally-
cake.
Yeah.
I mean, anything, any sort of celebration cake, just a Wednesday cake.
Absolutely. I feel like cake needs to be on Mondays. So we could do
Why
the
not?
sides as well, but then we just want to top with a few more chocolate chips. Just you get that crunch in there too, because they'll be soft inside the cake as you start to eat it.
Well done. And then you
then-
eat.
And then you grab
That's
some milk.
right, Deb. Have a taste
All
of
right,
this
Courtney.
over-the-top deliciousness.
My gosh.
Okay.
Fantastic.
You know
Everybody,
what?
you got to try this.
Now this is my
at home.
favorite part when Debbie bites it.
I know. Oh wait, what's happening first? Deb,
Yes!
that surprised me.
think I'm
Pass
kidding?
that around.
Go ahead.
All right, while we eat this and Debbie enjoys as well, you'll find this recipe as always at hallmarkchannel.com.
Cheers.
Everybody, for both versions of Courtney's cake, right there, like I said, on hallmarkchannel.com. Coming up.